A fine looping header to put Velez in front after 35 minutes. Well, things well poised right now for the Argentine sides against the Brazilians. There's still 135 minutes to go. Wonderfully fascinating tie. And realistically, if this were to stay as is, all four ties would be well placed heading into next week's second legs. We'll be able to see them all in their entirety, depending where you are. We'll be live in Ireland, Africa and Australia, and in Britain, well, you'll just have to check your listings. Depends on the ice hockey. Two-win victory for Grêmio at Bahia in the Brazilian Cup. Fernando and Naldo with the goals. Sent to see them in a few months' time in the Sudamericana as they failed to get any higher. Neymar kept so quiet in the first half. An amazing job done by young Gino Peruzzi, who has shown wonderful skill and ability beyond his years. Then we've always said that about Neymar in the past 18 months or so. Are very much given as good as they have gotten. Lead by that fine Óbolo header. It was arguably unsavable. Rafael could never have guessed the trajectory. It certainly wasn't a clean connection by Óbolo. It just looped home. And that's the goal that has Santos behind right now. But they struggled against Bolivar in the last 16 on the road in the first leg and ended up romping home in the end. After the second leg next week, it all goes in a break for a couple of weeks for the World Cup qualifiers. Brazil don't have to worry about that, being hosts in 2014. Uruguay, Argentina, Venezuela all on 7 points, Ecuador and Chile on 6, Colombia, Paraguay on 4. It looks like it is going to be wonderfully contested. Clausura champions of Argentina against the champions of South America. First legs have all had a big level of intrigue without being wonderfully massive occasions. I would proffer that probably Boca against Fluminense has been the best of the first legs we've seen so far. Job Velez has done on Santos has been a very successful holding, calming one. And look who's got it, Peruzzi. And Peruzzi's moving forward. He beat Neymar to the ball, and now Neymar has had to get his own back. Neymar down, it's a yellow against Cerro. Well, Neymar has had the sort of game that when he has had a chink of daylight his way, the door has been slammed quite rudely in his face. Cerro joining Papa in the book. It's 2 yellows apiece. Neymar not found, he's pushed Peruzzi. Well, the Argentine under-20 international is getting the better of Neymar. Carlos Bianchi the legendary long-time Boca coach. I'm sure most interested in how Santos are being kept quiet this evening. Óbolo, very untidy challenge on Adriano. Claimed by Adriano, and he did well. He slipped in effectively ahead of Alejandro Cabral. Well, Papa's on a yellow card, and he has to be very careful here. It was he who waded in on Adriano. And if Papa hadn't been on a yellow card before, he definitely would have been there, surely. Will be the taker. Such congestion in a line on the edge of the area, but it's a super free kick in by Alano, and it seemed to come off of Velez' head last. There will be a corner for Santos here, as Neymar is kept quiet yet again. Alano to take. It's tight, but he should just have enough range in the corner. And it caused difficulties for Barovero, who had to stretch back. Ticker tapes just begun to drift back in again. Barovero did very well. Alano's had a very good in-swinger, and now from the right-hand side, an out-swinger's on the way. Work by Enrique. Neymar came out very, very deep. But he's shot back inside the area again. It's a lovely cross by Neymar. 50 minutes of nothing, and then finally a chance to create with the very good cross in, which Cubero struck out. But Neymar's confidence will only be lifted by that. And he's found a way past Peruzzi, and look at that glorious ball. But what happened after it found Alano was anything but glorious. A Roy Hodgson reaction. It was a glorious ball which picked Neymar out in the first place, and allowed one bounce. That's a superb cross. Good cutout by Cubero, but what Neymar created out of nothing there was superb. Cabral controlled well. It's a glorious ball, and Hernandez trying to get the cross in, and he's kept this one alive. Juan. And finally Aruca with the important mopping up for Santos. Well, it's their 5th away game, and they've conceded a goal in every match in their travels so far. Only scored the one victory on the road, and that was against the Group 1 whipping boys Juan by 3-1 in Peru. Real wobbles at the start of the campaign, but it came good in the end. 4 wins, a draw and a loss. Finished top of Group 1. Velez were top of Group 7. They scored a point less, won 4, lost 2, under the direction of Ricardo Gareca. Strange group for a long time. Deb Quito did very well to get through. Chivas, who reached the final 2 years ago, finished bottom. In fact, the last 2 runners-up of the Libertadores both finished bottom of their respective groups, Chivas and Peñarol. Neymar did well to win, but couldn't find a way through. He's just trying to recover from the challenge now. Augusto Fernández has hit it long. Controlled by Ganzo, but not good distribution. Aruca. Down the middle, but there was advantage going for Alan Kardec that time. Neymar did very well. Good close control as usual. Couldn't get it in the middle for Alan Kardec, and Neymar has been caught. Or is at least claiming that. He's a man who is a magnificent talent. It is in Santos's interest to hold on to him as long as they can, as they did for Pele. And if Pele was the king, then this man is definitely the prince. And he so far has left his prints all over this season's competition. One more goal and he'll be the joint highest scorer alongside Matias Alustiza. There's not too many other high scorers left in the competition. I wonder if it was a self-inflicted. There had been a slide earlier. No, he was caught. He was well caught by Cubero, man who's been booked in 5 of his 8 games this season. That's what you call making sure. Of those left in the competition, Junior Fernández of Unión de Chile is on 6 goals. Injured for last night's game, should be back next week. Matias Rodriguez on 4. Say Alustiza and Pabon probably will be overtaken on 8 and 7 goals respectively, so we're looking between Neymar and Junior Fernández to win the Golden Boot for the Libertadores this year. He's growing into a man, 20 years old now. Martinez. Fernandez back for Francisco Cerro. Cabral. Cerro moves it on. Wide for Augusto Fernández. Great chance with the cross here, but Rafael won't be tested this time. It's away by Dracena, and the Santos captain is claiming his side's own throw. There may be empty portions of this 49,500 capacity stadium, but don't be distracted by them. It is largely full. Borges, who netted the 8th goal last week against Bolivar, is coming on for Alan Kardec. Fernández bring it on. Cut out by Aruca. Edu Dracena with the slice away, and it will be a Velez throw. Currently in 5th place in the Argentine League in the Clausura. They're 4 points behind leaders Newell's. Juan is already on yellow and must be wary. And again, dare I say, had he not already been booked, then he probably would have been there. Rafael, the youngest Copa Libertadores winning goalkeeper of all time, has directed the one-man wall and will be potentially tested here. The strike was low. Martinez unable to pounce, and Alano shepherding things at the near post. Dangerously in and almost two. And Óbolo, who broke the deadlock late in the first half, almost added on a second right on the hour, and he just stole it. He was unchecked, unmarked, and almost uncorked Santos definitively. Dorval got in the way. Enrique. Aruca. Wide for Juan. Santos more in the game now, but they could be even further behind. Yet again, Peruzzi has beaten Neymar to the ball. And the South American Footballer of the Year, the man who won the FIFA Goal of the Year, the Puskás Award, has had such a nightmarish night of it. But here he comes. He's been pulled back. And it's Peruzzi who got in his way and who dragged Neymar down and who's picked up the yellow. Well, he held Neymar back, but maybe Neymar was giving back a bit himself. Won't be allowed to do that again. Papa, Cerro and Peruzzi have all been booked for Velez, and all for fouls on Neymar. Barovero will have the knowledge, like us, that Alano in this situation is a very dangerous man. As big a wall as humanly possible. 7 involved for Velez. The white shirts will be an indication where the ball's probably going. Alano straight at Barovero. He's hit much better. Óbolo. Papa striding down the left-hand side. Very well defended by Dorval. Well, he bounced around various clubs, but probably the best decision of his career was joining Santos 2 years ago. Papa will take the outswinger corner. What a fine header, but Rafael saves it. Zapata's glorious moment. Martinez. Very good work by Juan Manuel Martinez, but what can he create down this left-hand side? Óbolo's waiting, it's beyond him. Not beyond Augusto Fernández, but balance eventually was. Juan will bring it away. Good work by Ganso. Juan had to stretch and couldn't find Neymar down this near side. And this time last year he was such a slight figure, but such magic in his boots and in the way he moved. He's beginning to bulk up quite a bit now, Neymar, and it's noticeable. He is becoming more of a man. It's a good header that was by Zapata, but did not test Rafael. Broke the 45-year-old record of Ladislav Murkiewicz and being the youngest player ever to be a winning goalkeeper in the Libertadores side. Neymar gets up and is shown a yellow card, and that will be for diving. He was going down, it was too clean, hence too obvious. And it's not the first time we've seen Neymar do that, in fairness. There is a little side alongside all that immense talent. Maybe when it comes to men of his ability, it's the same as it ever was. Fernández for Martinez. Martinez denied, pushed out to Cerro. Now Papa, look at the space he's in. Martinez, what a volley! And almost deceived Rafael. A wonderful strike by Augusto Fernández, and he almost got it in. Great volley on the turn. Well, that was Augusto Fernández. Foul by Neymar. He too has to watch his step. The nod on by Martinez, and what a strike. It was almost Van Basten-esque, that angle. Not quite the result. And then Fernández sent over by Neymar. Has to watch his step. Cubero to bring it away. Cerro. 1-0 for Velez past the midway point of the second half. It was under the nose of the referee, but he saw nothing wrong. Juan. Adriano. Santos finally being given the option to spread it around the field. And Aruca to hold it up. They finally got width into the game. And if they come away 1-0 down, not a disaster. They've been in this situation before in the past fortnight. You've got the likes of Neymar, Ganzo and Alano in your side. There's not a major worry if you happen to let a goal or two in every game. They've scored in all 8 previous games of this competition. Only kept 2 clean sheets along the way. But tonight, it is a difficulty. Borges. América. Martinez's tenacity. Velez have done well to retain possession. Martinez. And Cabral has won the throw for Velez. Very nicely, neatly done. Juan was expecting the free kick to go his way, instead given against for handball. Picking the ball up. To always play to the whistle, and Juan didn't do that this time. 17 minutes and counting. Santos facing a rare defeat. Velez have got the free kick here. It at first seemed very innocuous, but with Óbolo going down and staying down, further the seconds ticked on, the more serious it appeared. Now this gives Velez a good opportunity. This might be what you'd call a Lano territory if it was at the other end. Zapata to the left, Papa to the right. Good delivery and headed up in the air by Dracena, but he managed to complete the clearance anyway and lob it long. Come in, number 8, your time is up, and it is farewell to Alano. Will be replaced by Felipe Anderson, the Brazilian under-20 international. Not been his game. The 22-year-old replaces the World Cup star. The mantle is not yet resting uneasily and the crown hasn't quite slipped. But Santos will need to find fresh ideas next week back home on Brazilian soil. Must find another way to feed this man, although Neymar's not doing too badly. Though by the time the sentence was complete, he managed to go back to the pattern of the game. It's been a hugely frustrating night, but he does things his way. There's a definite state of independence about Neymar. That time the effort scuffed. Very much allowed to do his own thing here. Sure, occasionally it may frustrate, other times it may delight, but overall it's very positive to see. Felipe Anderson, by the way, has a Neymar haircut. The two men are very interchangeable. Neymar is going to be in a much more attacking position. Zapata did well to win. Martinez lost out. Here's the original Neymar. And has he got the beatings of Peruzzi this time? Sent it all the way across and he couldn't find Borges or Felipe Anderson. He must have thought that he wasn't going to get a lot of space. Well, Velez denied last season by Peñarol. Came very, very close to making it. The penalty, and that was very much their season gone. Now Papa on the deck feels it should be a free kick, but maybe there's ringing in the ears too. He was hit by the ball and that was it. And you don't get a free kick if you're hit by the ball unless someone deliberately kicks it at you. He's at his usual attacking best. All that probing up from the left-back position from Emiliano Papa. Well, that was a striker's tackle by Borges. And almost a striker's finish from Augusto Fernández. let fly, and Santos were almost in massive trouble there. Just had enough space, and Rafael, pretty much halfway through, was ducking away for the goal kick. Well, 1-0 would be very welcome for Velez going into next week, but it might be better. The clearance by Rafael was not assured, but Velez couldn't catch him off his line. Cerro Domínguez. On by Cerro to Zapata. Free kick. Foul by Dracena. Cabral has been well in the wars in this game. Good area. Zapata interested. Rafael poised. Papa available down the left-hand side if needed. And here he is, chance to get the cross in. Set up the lead goal for Óbolo. And that went wrong. Martinez tried to streak away down that left wing. 3 times the league winner for Velez. The last 2 coming under Ricardo Gareca. Started off at Boca and then left them for River Plate in '85. That made him popular. Fernández gave it away, but Aruca could do nothing with it. Felipe Anderson's been brought into the squad for the knockout stages in place of Robson. That was a fall. Nothing doing there for Adriano. On by Alejandro Ariel Cabral. Zapata will put the pressure on, but Rafael will happily soak it up. Forward by Juan. Again, no free kick. Santos finding themselves in a situation where they're just not winning free kicks. Ramalho was about to complain and then found he had nothing to complain about. 4 league titles, 9 state championships now, Libertadores and a Copa CONMEBOL going all the way back to 1994. Martinez on by, well, enough said. Fernández but out. Ricardo Gareca is just about pulling off the feet. 1-0 for Velez. Going into the away leg next week in the Vila Belmiro would do very nicely indeed. And Óbolo with his 3rd goal of the campaign means he is the joint 40th highest scorer of this season's competition. Neymar barely touched the ball in the last 10 minutes. Second legs next week are going to be fascinating. They're all tremendously tied. No succession of goals this week. Probably will follow next week. No succession of free kicks this evening either, really. Adriano, the latest victim, who certainly reacted with the feeling that he should have got one. Adriano picks up his first yellow and Santos's fourth. Is there any room left in the card? 7 bookings now, 4 for Santos, 3 for Velez. Collectively, they are getting away with it just about. Neymar and Juan have both gone in subsequent to picking up their yellow cards and have been given the benefit of the doubt by Paraguayan referee Carlos Amarelos. Rafael plucks it out of the air. Good strike by Cabral. He might have tightened his hamstring in the process. Velez were knocking on the door for a long time before the goal by Mario Óbolo. And their form and positioning and opportunities are coming through the same way now. Velez 1, Santos 0 with 5 minutes remaining. Ivan Beja, who netted early on in the first leg in the last 16 against Atlético Nacional, is coming on, and the man he's replacing deserved warm reception for Cabral, who's been super. Ivan Beja, only 21 years old still. So we're seeing more and more of him in Velez colours in big games. Peruzzi will take the free kick. And he's definitely a man I think we're going to see a lot more of, because the neutralising job on Neymar has been superb. Many others have tried and failed, but maybe by, it's maybe an idea which is out there, but by putting somebody equally young up against them might just have an insight into Neymar's wavelength. Controlled by Martinez, but it lasted too long. 3 minutes of normal time to go. 0-1 again is quite okay for Santos heading into the second leg next week at the Belmiro. Winners of this tie would face either Corinthians or Vasco. Second leg of this tie is the early match on Thursday night. It's 2300 GMT on Thursday, midnight Thursday into Friday, UK and Ireland time. And great play by Martinez, but he couldn't go all the way. Offside. Fernández tried to bring it through, but the flag on the near flank of Dario Guayana was quick. Over the top of Rafael's goal, it flew so majestically. Great try, Ivan Bejo with his first attempt of the game. And he is a youngster with a tremendous shot on him. There'll be no lack of confidence about Santos should they go into their home leg a goal down. Taça set themselves against Bolivar in the second leg last week of the last 16 was to simply score early, which 1-0 win in the night would have put them ahead on the away goals rule. After that they were away and clear and they just couldn't stop scoring. By Durval. Well, they were somewhat unfortunate not to reach the Libertadores final last season. They put themselves in a strong position in this quarter-final against the holder Santos, but have to follow through in the away leg next week. It will be the test of their mettle, really. Zapata's won the ball. Zapata might be tempted to have a pop. He's gone down. Paulo will keep going. Free kick in a great position. It's Edu Dracena's foul, and he's been booked now. And that's 5 yellow cards against Santos. It's a kung fu kick. Dracena alongside Rafael, Neymar, Adriano and Juan in the book. Hector Quinteros, the stonemason, is being brought on in place of Francisco Cerro, who's had a terrific game. Velez have a great free kick opportunity. Domínguez has taken the necessary run-up. Wall stood firm and did his job. But overall, Santos have not done theirs tonight. And it's David Ramirez, the signing last year from Godoy Cruz, who replaces Martinez. Just a matter of protecting the legs for the final few minutes. Velez next weekend at home to Belgrano, and after the away leg at Santos are away at Cologne. And if you're watching, by the way, in Britain, Ireland or Australia, tomorrow night, Óbolo has the ball. Here's an opportunity for Peruzzi. Rebounds away. Tigre Newell's Friday night, racing against Boca Sunday night. Argentine League football in those 3 nations counted. But Velez have made themselves counted tonight. Óbolo with the only goal in this first leg. The looping header on 35 minutes, which means Santos have, just like last week, some work to do heading into their away leg back home. Velez had 13 efforts in the game, Santos 4. The final score at the end of this Copa Libertadores quarter-final first leg. Vélez Sarsfield 1, Santos 0.
Setanta Sports, the only place to watch every game of UEFA Euro 2012. Watch the Scottish FA Cup final this Saturday on Setanta Sports. the first All-Edinburgh Scottish Cup final in over 100 years, as Hearts take on Hibernian in Hampden Park. The Scottish FA Cup final, this Saturday, live on Setanta Sports. Watch Euro 2012 live this June on Setanta Sports.